The emergency services are currently on the scene at the moment. They've been here since 11:30 this morning. They were called to reports of a massive explosion at a factory here in Derrimut. Derrimut has hundreds of factories here. Unconfirmed reports suggest so far that the factory may have been storing fuel as well as paint thinners as well as industrial solvents. We are yet to get those reports confirmed though, Lay, but at the moment the flames are billowing about 150 metres directly into the air. There are still explosions occurring about every couple of minutes or so as we watch this. You can see there the smoke is thick and black and toxic. Now, those explosions are still exploding directly up. At the moment, the wind is working in emergency services' favour. It is blowing directly up, but as we know, with any fire or explosion, that can change at a moment's notice. The latest report from emergency services suggests that the fire has now moved onto nearby grassland. As you can see, there are a number of factories here near the explosion, but there are also a number of vacant, open land blocks. These land blocks contain dry grass, which is, of course, making it extremely vulnerable to a fire spreading quickly. At this time, we can tell you that no injuries have been reported, and emergency crews are still very much on the scene trying to get this under control. They are having some difficulty in doing that. Now, workers inside this factory at the time of the explosion, fortunately, were able to make their way out and evacuate safely, and we are hearing no reports of any injuries there. All emergency services workers are also currently accounted for at the moment. Now, this thick black smoke is moving into nearby areas. There are some warnings in place for suburbs, including, of course, Derrimut, where we are now, Albion, Braybrook, Brooklyn, Laverton North, Sunshine West, Tottenham and Truganina too. The smoke can, of course, be seen from the CBD. Now, what we know is that there are, of course, traffic conditions now that people are being advised to stay up to date on. Behind us here on the road, there is traffic banked up for hundreds and hundreds of metres here. We are near the M80 freeway, which is now being closed off in both directions. We are near the Deer Park bypass. This is one of the busiest thoroughfares in Melbourne. It's where people make their way to these factory areas. Majority of the vehicles on the road here are industrial trucks. Now, the factories nearby, just a couple metres up here, contain and store fuel, which of course we know is flammable as well. So the main focus now and priority is really getting this blaze and explosion back under control, Lay.
Yes, I'm also reading this warning from Vic Emergency that toxic smoke is blowing eastwards across Derrimut, and that people in the areas, in the surrounding areas, are being advised to either not go home, or if they're home, to close all the external doors and windows, as you know, these fumes are toxic. So do check on all the emergency services alerts, and if you're living in the area, and of course, Holly, you stay safe as well.
Yeah, just on that, Lay,
moving on, the federal...
we're nearby here. We
yes.
can... Sorry, Lay, I was just going to say, I mean, people are pulling off over to the side, of course, to get a look at the blaze and smoke behind me, of course, because it's something like out of a movie scene. But you can actually smell the fumes now. The wind is beginning to drop a little bit, and that black smoke is really moving across. The warning as well for people in their cars at the moment, they are actually winding down their windows to get a good look. And, you know, as we are as human beings, be curious, but they're actually being completely advised against that. Keep your windows in your car up as well, and keep it so that the air is only circulating throughout the car, not pulling it in from outside as well. So you can actually feel the heat of this explosion still at the moment too, Lay. So we'll be here and we'll be keeping you up to date when we get any more information.
Thanks, Holly. Take care.